Welcome to the Abstract Blood Type Wellness Podcast, where the right play meets purpose and flavor finds faith.
Blood type balance, mind, body, whole. Feed your spirit, that's the ultimate goal. We season for life.
Greetings and welcome back to the Abstract Blood Type Wellness Podcast. I am your host, AC Price, certified wellness nutrition coach and educator, and founder of the AC Art of Food. And I'm so very honored you're here with me for episode 25 for every mom at the table, nourishing yourself and your family well. All right, so this one here is for all of the mothers. Yes, we kicked off the month of May with Mother's Day, and I wanted to come in today for this week's podcast with a love letter to every mother, every grandmother, every woman who is the heartbeat of her household. Thank you. And also, we need to talk about your plate. Okay. See, the woman who plans every meal for her family, who knows everyone's meal preferences, who makes sure that the refrigerator is locked, stocked, and loaded, right, is often the one eating standing over the sink, right? Grabbing whatever's left or skipping the meal entirely. And she calls it love. It is love, but it's also a depletion pattern that catches up. Okay. And today we're going to talk about what changes when the woman at the center of the table is actually fed. Wow. All right. So let's get into it. It's the science behind the simplicity. All right. So here's what the research tells us. The Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health consistently shows that maternal nutrition status is one of the strongest predictors of family dietary quality. All right. So when the primary caregiver eats well, the family eats well. And when she's depleted, the household food environment reflects this. Okay. And so the American Heart Association is also identifying women in caregiving roles as disproportionately at risk for iron, magnesium, and omega-3 deficiencies. See, nutrients tied directly to energy, mood, and heart health. Now, the person most responsible for her family's wellness is often the most nutritionally vulnerable person in the home. Okay. And to just seal it all in, the Mayo Clinic is also confirming that the food environment a child grows up in shapes their relationship for food for life. So a mother who eats intentionally and with pleasure teaches her children, without a single word, that food is something to be valued. Okay, so let's expand the educational core with the nourished mother effect. So when a mother is well nourished, her entire household shifts. Families centered around a caregiver who eats whole, intentional foods consistently eat more vegetables and less processed food. Not because she controls what everyone eats, but because she models it. Children learn to eat by watching adults eat. Okay. Now, feeding a family well without running yourself dry. All right. So you don't need a separate meal for every blood type at every sitting. No, think of a family of meals as a shared foundation with individual layers. So you'd have like one protein that works across all blood types, say wild salmon and turkey, for example. Then with grains and whole vegetables that everyone can customize. See, the O member would go heavier on protein, while the A member would load up on the veggies. And then for the B member, they would reach for a combination, more so like, even incorporating a high quality dairy. And then the AB member could still use that balance. However, they would keep their portions lighter. See, one meal, four expressions. That's the framework. Now let's get into 3 self-care nutrition non-negotiables for mothers. Okay. First one up is real breakfast first. Okay. Everybody's breakfast is not going to look the same. Right? We have some intermittent fasting women out there, which is great, right? And then also breakfast doesn't always look the same as what traditionally is eggs and bacon and toast or what have you. It could be a sandwich. It could be beans. It could be steak. Just remembering that a real breakfast is what you're going to need before the day's demands begin. Okay. A real meal, sitting down, This is the single highest impact habit for a mother's energy and mood. Okay. So, secondly, protein at every meal. We're going to need to stabilize blood sugar, support that mood, and prevent the depletion of spiral that leads to stress eating by afternoon. So we can do all of this by making sure that we incorporate a good quality protein at every meal. Then thirdly, one meal per day that's entirely yours, okay? Not the leftovers, not the compromise. No. One meal chosen for your body, eaten with presence, okay? Now, let's check out the blood type personalization. So, for my blood type O's, the grounded matriarch, you hold together through physical energy and determination. And your vulnerability is burning through your reserves before you even realize it. So, that protein at every meal is a non negotiable. Grass fed beef, wild fish, lamb, eggs. See, that in addition to vigorous movement is going to be your primary cortisol reset for your first line of self-care nutrition. So we're going to avoid that wheat, avoid that corn, avoid that dairy, and of course, yes, the cucumber and avocado. Now, for my nurturing nourishers, right, my blood type A's, you're going to feel everything more deeply, and your nervous system is going to show it in your digestion first. All right. So remember, everyone's food preferences is, often results in you forgetting your own, right? So remember that plant proteins, fermented foods, and daily herbal tea rituals, such as chamomile or tulsi, are generally medicinal for you. So rest is nutrition as well. Avoid red meat, tomatoes, peppers, and eggplant. Okay. Now, for my blood type B's, the flexible feeders, you have the broadest dietary range and the most metabolic flexibility. Okay. So a gift in a busy family context. So your vulnerability is erratic eating when life gets chaotic. Okay. So consistent meal timing is going to be your most powerful and valuable tool. Okay. Dairy is uniquely stabilizing for you on a family table as well, but you're going to need to avoid that chicken, corn, wheat, and sesame. Okay. Now, for my mindful table setter, that's my blood type ABs. You're going to absorb the emotional energy of your entire household, which means mindful eating isn't an option. It is how your system will recover. All right. So smaller, more frequent meals, 5 minutes of stillness before eating is going to shift your digestive state measurably. So tofu, seafood, and cultured dairy, high quality, are your anchors. Now, also you are to avoid that red meat, chicken, corn, sesame, and bell peppers. Okay. So let's get into the lifestyle and ritual integration. And I love these, as I state all the time, because they are going to be 3 rituals across every single blood type, and they are going to be beneficial for you. Now, I love this part of it because this is for the mother who wants to nourish herself this month. Okay. Great. So, number 1, the sacred morning meal. We talked about that beforehand. Before the household even wakes, try to eat something real. Even 10 quiet minutes with a nourishing breakfast is going to reset your cortisol arc for the entire day. This one is yours. Okay. So, even if you are intermittent fasting, that cup of coffee, that nice, just steamy brewed cup of steeped tea is going to be so magical for you first thing in the morning. All right. Secondly, the family build your own bowl night. Okay. So this is going to take the guesswork out of a lot of meal planning and getting everybody's preferences right. You're going to have it all there at once. Okay. So once a week, try a shared protein base. Okay. We mentioned that earlier, say like a salmon or a turkey. Individual topping stations. Okay. So everyone builds their own. One cook, no stress, every blood type honored without anyone even knowing it. Okay, that's like your cheat sheet. Okay, so that looks like, say, a taco bar. That looks like, or salad bar. How about that? Okay. Now, thirdly, the nightly cup. Yes, that herbal tea by blood type as your signal that the day is done. is ideal. Okay. You gave, now you receive. So my type O's, try peppermint. My type A's, that chamomile. Type B's, ginger. And my type AB's, a green tea with honey. Okay. Now, this week's Great Eats is the lunch edition because, yes, mothers deserve something beautiful in the middle of the day and simple, intentional, and made for the woman who gives so much. All right. All right. So let's get into it. My blood type O's, the celebration power plate. Try sliced grass-fed steak or grilled wild salmon over roasted sweet potato wedges. Sauteed spinach and arugula with olive oil and garlic. A little shredded purple cabbage for a little color, all right? And some fresh lemon and abstract rose sea salt. Now, for my type A's, the garden celebration bowl, that plant forward goodness and mercy. So we're going to try some pan-seared tempeh over farro, which is a beautiful grain, with roasted asparagus, broccolini, and shredded carrots, a little miso dressing, toasted pumpkin seeds, and fresh herbs. For my type B's, the flourishing plate, all right? Some roasted lamb medallions or turkey with jasmine rice, sauteed collard greens with some lemon and olive oil, roasted beets, crumbled goat cheese, and some fresh parsley. And lastly, for the Great Eats is for my type ABs, the graceful gathering plate. I love these names. Pan-seared wild salmon over millet, steamed snap peas and zucchini, a little high-quality cultured yogurt on the side with some fresh dill and lemon. All right, that's a nice little dipping or little sauce for your salmon. And those are the Great Eats for this week's podcast. Now, in our final reflection, we started today with a simple truth. You cannot pour from an empty plate. All right. And motherhood is an act of extraordinary generosity, but generosity that is never truly replenished becomes depletion. So today and every day after, I want you to put yourself at the table, not last, first, with a plate full of food your body actually needs, because the family you are feeding is watching you. And what they see becomes the food culture of your home. You're setting that precedence, okay? So that is the most powerful legacy you can leave at that table. So I want you to honor and just pay homage to the women that hold the family together by their bare hands, their heart and their kitchen. You are seen, you are celebrated, and today you are fed. So if you have spent years taking care of everyone else's wellness, then this is your sign. Your biology matters and your plate matters, and there is real support waiting for you. So please subscribe to the Abstract Blood Type Wellness podcast so you never miss a single episode with me, and share this one here with a mother in your life who needs to hear it. And when you're ready to go deeper, I want you to visit acrtoffood.com and start with our culinary health assessment right there on the homepage for you to complete. And then from there, you can explore our Blood Type Wellness 101 starter kits, a beautiful gift for any mother in your life, wellness coaching and memberships, custom meal plans and healing tea blends, and our 7 deliciously healing wellness ebooks and e-cookbooks. And yes, our flagship product, our heart healthy small batch abstract spice gold seasoning blends that make every plate taste like it was made with love, because it was, and it's good and good for you. All right. So longevity begins with honoring your biology. And until next time, great eats and healthy living.